If you are over 60 and feeling exhausted by 2 p.m. every single day, if climbing stairs leaves you breathless, if your brain feels foggy no matter how much sleep you get, stop for a moment and listen carefully. I hear this complaint almost every week in my clinic. Dr. Marcus, I just don't have energy like I used to. Is this just normal aging? Just recently, a 68-year-old patient named Dorothy asked me exactly that. She had been dragging through her days for 3 years. Low energy, poor stamina, difficulty concentrating. She assumed it was inevitable. She thought her body was simply wearing out. What surprised her was this. Her mitochondria, the tiny power plants inside every cell, had essentially shut down. She was not lazy. She was not depressed. Her cells were starving for energy. New research shows that one very common cellular aging mistake, especially in adults over 60, can accelerate biological aging by 10 to 15 years and drain your energy reserves to dangerous levels. I'm Dr. Marcus Reed, and in this video, I will explain that mistake, why most people overlook it, and the 7-day protocol that restores mitochondrial function and literally turns back your biological clock. Before we dive in, drop a comment with your age and where you're watching from today. Have you noticed your energy declining year after year? Or do you feel exhausted even after a full night's sleep? Write your answer below because your experience helps our entire community. And hit that subscribe button because I share life-saving health strategies like this every week to help you thrive after 60. Most people believe that fatigue after 60 is simply part of getting older. But here's what most people don't realize. That crushing fatigue is not normal aging. It is mitochondrial dysfunction, and it can be reversed. Your mitochondria are microscopic energy factories inside every single cell in your body. You have trillions of them. They convert the food you eat and the oxygen you breathe into ATP, the energy currency your body runs on. Every heartbeat requires ATP. Every thought requires ATP. Every step you take requires ATP. When your mitochondria function properly, you feel energetic, mentally sharp, and physically capable. When they decline, everything declines with them. Here's the problem. As we age, mitochondrial function drops dramatically. By age 60, the average person has lost 30 to 50% of their mitochondrial capacity. By age 70, some people have lost up to 60%. This is not a minor issue. This is the foundation of biological aging. Damaged mitochondria produce less energy and more toxic waste products called reactive oxygen species. These waste products damage DNA, accelerate cellular aging, and trigger chronic inflammation. The result? You feel tired constantly. You gain weight easily. Your muscles weaken. Your brain slows down. Your immune system weakens. Your risk for chronic disease skyrockets. I saw this clearly with one of my patients named Robert, age 71. He came to my office barely able to walk from the parking lot without resting twice. He told me he used to hike 5 miles every weekend. Now he struggled to walk to his mailbox. His wife drove him everywhere. He stopped socializing because he had no energy. He spent most afternoons napping. Blood tests showed normal thyroid, normal hemoglobin, normal vitamin levels. Standard medicine had no explanation. But when we measured his mitochondrial function using specialized biomarkers, the picture became crystal clear. His cells were producing energy at less than 40% of optimal capacity. His mitochondria were damaged, dysfunctional, and desperately needed repair. What most people do not realize is that mitochondrial decline does not announce itself with obvious symptoms. It creeps in gradually. You blame it on stress. You blame it on poor sleep. You blame it on getting older. Meanwhile, your cellular energy production is collapsing. In older adults, ignoring mitochondrial health often means accepting disability, disease, and premature death as inevitable. This is why so many seniors feel like they are fading away instead of thriving. Now, here is where the first major mistake happens. Most seniors try to fix their fatigue with stimulants. They drink more coffee. They take energy drinks. They rely on sugar for quick energy boosts. But these approaches do not address the root cause. Caffeine does not repair mitochondria. Sugar does not restore cellular function. Stimulants mask the problem temporarily while the underlying damage gets worse. Mitochondrial restoration requires intentional intervention, not symptom masking, With age, your body's natural repair mechanisms slow down. Antioxidant production decreases. Cellular cleanup processes called autophagy decline. Inflammation increases. Without intervention, mitochondrial function spirals downward year after year. This is not rare. It is extremely common. That 68-year-old patient I mentioned earlier, Dorothy, was drinking 4 cups of coffee daily just to function. She was consuming sugary snacks every few hours to maintain energy. She thought she needed willpower. What she actually needed was mitochondrial repair. When we implemented the proper restoration protocol, not caffeine dependence, her energy returned within 10 days. Her mental clarity improved dramatically. Her stamina increased so much that she started walking 2 miles daily without fatigue. This is why mitochondrial restoration matters just as much as managing symptoms. If you're finding this helpful, go ahead and hit that like button. It really supports the channel and helps us reach more seniors who need this information. Now, let us talk about the first day of this 7-day mitochondrial restoration protocol, and this one is extremely powerful. Day 1 is fasting and cellular cleanup activation. If you look at most people's eating patterns, they consume food from the moment they wake up until the moment they go to bed. Breakfast at 7 a.m., snacks at 10 a.m., lunch at noon, snacks at 3 p.m., dinner at 6 p.m., dessert at 8 p.m. Their digestive systems never rest. Their cells never activate cleanup mode. That constant feeding prevents a critical cellular process called autophagy. Autophagy is your body's recycling system. It breaks down damaged proteins, dysfunctional organelles, and toxic debris inside cells. It clears out damaged mitochondria and makes room for healthy new ones. This process only activates during fasting periods. In adults over 60, autophagy becomes less efficient naturally, but extended fasting periods can reactivate it powerfully. I saw this with a patient named Margaret, aged 66. She had been eating constantly to maintain energy because she felt weak. Ironically, that constant eating was preventing her cells from cleaning up the damaged mitochondria, causing her weakness. On day 1 of the protocol, I instructed her to fast for 16 hours. She stopped eating after a light dinner at 6 p.m. She consumed only water, black coffee, or plain tea until 10 a.m. the next morning. That 16-hour fasting window triggered autophagy throughout her entire body. Her cells began breaking down damaged components. Her body started clearing out dysfunctional mitochondria. Within 24 hours, her cellular cleanup processes were activated at levels she had not experienced in years. Research shows that fasting periods of 14 to 18 hours trigger significant autophagy activation. This is not starvation. This is strategic timing that allows cellular repair. Studies in older adults demonstrate that intermittent fasting improves mitochondrial efficiency, reduces inflammation, and extends healthy lifespan. Another critical tool is understanding what breaks a fast and what does not. Water does not break a fast. Black coffee does not break a fast. Plain tea does not break a fast. But even small amounts of calories from cream, sugar, or food will shut down autophagy immediately. There is also a dangerous misunderstanding about fasting. Some people believe fasting is dangerous for older adults. In reality, properly structured fasting is safe and beneficial for most seniors. It activates repair mechanisms that constant eating suppresses. The key lesson here is simple. If you are over 60, eating constantly may prevent the cellular cleanup your mitochondria desperately need. Strategic fasting allows autophagy to clear damaged components and restore function. Now we come to day 2 of the protocol, and this one directly fuels mitochondrial energy production. Day 2 is targeted nutritional loading with mitochondrial cofactors. Many people either eat nutrient-poor diets or consume nutrients that do not specifically support mitochondrial function. They eat plenty of calories but remain nutritionally depleted at the cellular level. Mitochondria require specific vitamins, minerals, and compounds to produce energy efficiently. Without these cofactors, energy production stalls even if you eat plenty of food. I saw this pattern in a 73-year-old patient named James. He ate 3 full meals daily. He consumed adequate protein and calories, but his diet lacked the specific nutrients his mitochondria needed. When we tested his micronutrient levels, he was severely deficient in CoQ10, magnesium, B vitamins, and alpha-lipoic acid. These are essential mitochondrial cofactors. Without them, his energy production was crippled. On day 2 of the protocol, we loaded his system with these critical nutrients. He consumed 200 milligrams of CoQ10 in its ubiquinol form, the active version your body can use immediately. He took 400 milligrams of magnesium glycinate, the form best absorbed and utilized by mitochondria. He consumed a high-potency B complex with methylated B vitamins that his aging body could actually process. He added 600 milligrams of alpha-lipoic acid, a powerful antioxidant that protects mitochondria and regenerates other antioxidants. He included 1,000 milligrams of L-carnitine, which transports fatty acids into mitochondria for energy production. After 24 hours of this targeted nutritional loading, his cells had the raw materials they needed for optimal energy production. His mitochondria could finally function at higher capacity. Another overlooked issue is nutrient absorption decline with age. Many seniors consume vitamins but absorb only a fraction due to decreased stomach acid, compromised gut health, or medication interference. For most seniors following this protocol, the essential mitochondrial nutrients include CoQ10 in ubiquinol form, 200 to 300 milligrams daily, magnesium glycinate, 300 to 400 milligrams daily, methylated B-complex vitamins, especially B1, B2, B3, and B12, alpha-lipoic acid, 300 to 600 milligrams daily, L-carnitine, 1,000 to 2,000 milligrams daily, and omega-3 fatty acids from fish oil, 2,000 milligrams daily. The exact dosing depends on individual deficiency levels and health status. Finally, many seniors waste money on low-quality supplements that provide minimal benefit. Form matters enormously. CoQ10 as ubiquinol is 8 times more bioavailable than ubiquinone. Magnesium glycinate absorbs far better than magnesium oxide. Methylated B vitamins work for people with genetic variations that prevent standard B vitamin activation. I had a patient age 69 who had been taking a standard multivitamin for 10 years. She wondered why she still felt exhausted. When we switched her to targeted, high-quality mitochondrial cofactors, her energy transformation was dramatic within 1 week. That nutritional precision made all the difference. By this point, you may realize something important. Most seniors are not refusing to take vitamins. They are taking the wrong forms, wrong doses, or missing critical mitochondrial-specific nutrients. Each deficiency limits energy production. Together, these gaps can reduce mitochondrial output by 50% or more. Now let me walk you through day 3 of the protocol. This is the approach I use with my own patients over 60. Day 3 is exercise-induced mitochondrial biogenesis. For most seniors, exercise means gentle walking or stretching. These activities are beneficial for general health, but they do not trigger the creation of new mitochondria. Your body only builds new mitochondria when you send a strong signal that more energy production is urgently needed. That signal comes from high-intensity effort, not gentle movement. Exercise that pushes your cardiovascular system and muscles to work hard triggers a cellular response. Your cells detect energy shortage during intense effort. In response, they activate genetic pathways that build brand new mitochondria. This process is called mitochondrial biogenesis. Older exercise methods looked only at burning calories. Newer understanding focuses on cellular signaling that creates new energy factories. Specific types of exercise trigger mitochondrial biogenesis far more effectively than others. High-intensity interval training is the most powerful trigger. This alone can dramatically increase mitochondrial density in muscle tissue. On day 3 of the protocol, patients perform brief bursts of high-intensity effort, followed by recovery periods. This might be 30 seconds of fast walking, or stair climbing, followed by 90 seconds of easy walking. Repeat this cycle 6 to 8 times. The total exercise time is only 12 to 16 minutes, but the cellular signal is enormous. I worked with a 70-year-old patient named Linda, who had not exercised intensely in 15 years. She was afraid of injury. She thought her heart could not handle it. After medical clearance, we started with very conservative intervals. 20 seconds of brisk walking, 2 minutes of slow walking. She repeated this 5 times. The entire session took 11 minutes. Within 3 weeks of performing this protocol 3 times weekly, her mitochondrial density increased measurably. Her leg strength improved. Her endurance increased. Her resting heart rate dropped from 82 to 71 beats per minute, indicating improved cardiovascular efficiency. That brief, intense exercise triggered mitochondrial creation that hours of gentle walking never could. The appropriate use of this protocol requires proper progression. Start with efforts you can sustain safely. Gradually increase intensity as fitness improves. Never push to the point of dizziness, chest pain, or dangerous breathlessness. Work with a physician to ensure safety, especially if you have heart disease or other conditions. This is not a replacement for all other exercise. High-intensity intervals are supplementary tools that trigger specific cellular adaptations. Strength training, flexibility work, and daily movement all remain important. Understanding limitations is critical. These protocols are not appropriate for everyone. Severe heart disease, uncontrolled blood pressure, or significant joint damage may require modifications or alternative approaches. Results must be monitored carefully with your physician. Never begin high-intensity exercise without medical clearance if you have chronic conditions. Integration with recovery matters enormously. Exercise creates the signal for mitochondrial biogenesis, but the actual building of new mitochondria happens during rest and recovery. Adequate sleep, proper nutrition, and recovery days are essential. Without recovery, exercise becomes destructive rather than regenerative. Monitoring progress over time shows effectiveness. Are you getting stronger? Can you sustain higher intensities? Is your resting heart rate improving? Are you less breathless during daily activities? These markers indicate successful mitochondrial adaptation. I had a patient aged 67 who followed this exercise protocol combined with the nutritional and fasting interventions. Her fitness testing showed a 28% increase in VO2 max, a direct measure of mitochondrial oxygen utilization, after just 8 weeks. That improvement reflected thousands of new mitochondria being built in her muscle cells. At this point, it is important to understand one critical truth. Mitochondrial restoration is powerful, but it requires consistency across multiple interventions. There are situations where single strategies will not produce complete results. One of the most common issues is inflammation sabotaging mitochondrial function. If chronic inflammation persists, it continuously damages mitochondria faster than you can repair them. Another overlooked factor is toxic exposure. Environmental toxins, pesticides, heavy metals, and certain medications directly poison mitochondrial enzymes. In seniors with high toxic burden, mitochondrial restoration requires detoxification support. Sleep disruption is another silent saboteur. Mitochondrial repair happens primarily during deep sleep. Chronic insomnia or sleep apnea prevents adequate repair, even when other interventions are perfect. There is also the issue of chronic stress. Elevated cortisol from unmanaged stress suppresses mitochondrial biogenesis and accelerates mitochondrial damage. Stress management must be part of any complete restoration protocol. If these issues occur, mitochondrial restoration effectiveness drops significantly. This is why comprehensive assessment and multifactorial intervention matter. Do not assume that supplements alone or exercise alone will solve complex mitochondrial dysfunction. I want to share a quick example. A 72-year-old man came to me frustrated. He had been taking CoQ10 for 6 months. He felt no improvement. He assumed the supplement did not work. Further evaluation revealed he was sleeping only 4 to 5 hours nightly due to sleep apnea. He was under severe stress from family issues. His diet was inflammatory and high in processed foods. Once we addressed his sleep apnea with CPAP therapy, reduced his inflammation through diet changes, and added stress management techniques, the CoQ10 finally worked. His mitochondria could not repair while sleep deprivation and inflammation destroyed them faster than supplements could help. Now, let us continue with Day 4 of the protocol. Day 4 is cold exposure and mitochondrial activation. Many seniors avoid cold temperatures completely. They keep their homes warm. They dress in layers. They never expose their bodies to cold stress. This seems comfortable, but it eliminates a powerful mitochondrial stimulus. When your body experiences cold, it must generate heat to maintain core temperature. That heat generation happens primarily in mitochondria through a process called thermogenesis. Brown fat tissue, which is packed with mitochondria, activates during cold exposure. Your muscles shiver, which requires mitochondrial energy production. Your metabolism increases to generate warmth. All of these responses force mitochondria to work harder and produce more energy. Regular cold exposure triggers mitochondrial biogenesis, increases mitochondrial efficiency, and improves metabolic health. On day 4, patients expose themselves to cold water or cold air in a controlled, safe manner. This might be a 2-minute cold shower, starting with warm water and gradually decreasing temperature. It might be 30 seconds under cold water at the end of a normal shower. It might be spending 10 minutes outside in cool weather, wearing less clothing than usual, allowing the body to experience cold stress safely. I saw this clearly with a 68-year-old patient named Thomas. He had been avoiding cold his entire life. He wore a jacket when it was 70 degrees outside. His home thermostat stayed at 76 degrees year-round. His metabolism was sluggish. His body temperature ran low at 97.2 degrees Fahrenheit. When we introduced brief cold exposure, his body had to adapt. On day 4, he took his first cold shower. Just 90 seconds of cold water after his normal warm shower. He felt energized immediately afterward. Over the following weeks of consistent cold exposure 3 times weekly, his resting metabolic rate increased. His body temperature normalized to 98.4 degrees. His energy levels improved dramatically. His mitochondria were forced to activate and multiply to handle the cold stress. Many seniors worry that cold exposure is dangerous. For healthy individuals, brief controlled cold exposure is safe and beneficial. It strengthens cardiovascular function, improves circulation, and boosts immune response. However, people with certain heart conditions, Raynaud's disease, or severe circulation problems should consult their physician before beginning cold exposure. Start gradually. Do not shock your system with extreme cold immediately. Build tolerance over days and weeks. The key principle is this: mild stress that forces adaptation makes you stronger. Complete comfort allows decline. Your mitochondria need challenges to grow and multiply. Do not avoid all discomfort. Embrace strategic stress that triggers beneficial adaptation. Now we come to day 5 of the protocol. Day 5 is mitochondrial antioxidant protection and inflammation reduction. This surprises some people because they think antioxidants are just general supplements. But specific antioxidants protect mitochondria from the oxidative damage that accelerates aging. Mitochondria produce energy, but they also produce reactive oxygen species as a byproduct. These are like exhaust from an engine. In young, healthy mitochondria, antioxidant systems neutralize this exhaust effectively. In aging mitochondria, antioxidant defenses weaken. The exhaust accumulates and damages mitochondrial DNA, proteins, and membranes. This damage reduces energy output and increases inflammation. By providing targeted antioxidant support, you protect mitochondria from this internal damage. Glutathione is the master antioxidant inside cells. It directly protects mitochondria, but glutathione levels decline dramatically with age. By age 60, many people have 30 to 50% less glutathione than they had at age 30. Supplementing with glutathione precursors like N-acetylcysteine at 600 to 1200 milligrams daily helps rebuild glutathione levels. Vitamin E in its natural mixed tocopherol form protects mitochondrial membranes from lipid peroxidation. Vitamin C regenerates vitamin E and supports overall antioxidant networks.